Let me guess. You recently got yourself the bounty drag racing and you're having such a difficult time to actually get started. Don't worry, I also struggled so darn badly. All I wanted to do was just turn up the boost and whoever aligns up next to me, I wanted to wreck them. But it was even just difficult to get started and I was just struggling. I was actually not enjoying the game at the beginning, basically because this game is not like Forza or not like Need for Speed Underground or whatever the case is. This is a drag racing game on its own. And here it is very vital to have your controls set up properly. And that is what we're going to focus on in this video, is something as simple as the controls. But if you can fix this at the start of your actually starting to play this game, you will actually find this game much more entertaining. It will actually be playable then. So what I'm going to do is, I'm very fortunate to have my steering wheel set up. I'll also talk about the keyboard and what I've done on the steering wheel. So if you have a steering wheel, this will actually help you out as well to see what I'm doing and what's working for me. Alright, so we're here in the main menu. We've got multiplayer in the top left, garage, and in settings. We're going to go to controls, and this is how it looks like. This is still an alpha game, a very, very new version. It's version 0.0.19. So hopefully they will in the future actually spice it up to look better and all of that stuff, but don't judge the game because of this. Alright. So as you guys can see, we've got controller on the right, mouse in the middle, keyboard on the left. I'm unsure if other controllers works, like the Xbox controller there. If it does work, anything is better than the keyboard. Basically, with the keyboard, you're gonna always have to use two hands. We'll go through all of the stats, all of the settings we can change, and you'll understand why I say so. But with the controller, the reason why I say you must use a controller is because you can actually handle the amount of acceleration you want to give, because when you're just pressing, let's say, the up arrow or the W on the keyboard, it will be like your car is actually 100% foot flat for that certain few seconds. And these cars has got massive tires, massive power. They just want to launch, they just want to go. So having something where you can actually like control the amount of acceleration will help you out a lot. But if you don't have it, practice makes perfect. All right, so let's start. Here on the left hand side, we have got our steering right, steering left, our throttle positive, and our brakes. I'm not going to talk about that. That is literally left, right, acceleration, and brake. Oh, I just pressed my hand against the freaking gears, and then obviously the brakes on the other side, in the middle. So that we're going to talk about. That we're not going to talk about. Obviously, you can put your WASD and so forth. Do note that the brakes is brakes. It's not reverse, okay? So keep that in mind. If we go further on, if you want to use clutch, you can use clutch. This game actually has got a freaking awesome, what is it called? How did I forget the game now? Man. Yeah, so they've got like an automatic system where it's like semi-automatic. How did I forget the name now? It's like a clutch, a torque converter. There we go, a torque converter. So you don't actually need to use clutch. I would also recommend not using a clutch, because if you're driving, you got to step on clutch, then shift, let go clutch, and accelerate. Trust me, people are going to leave you behind for days. The torque converter is just so much easier. You just, if it's pedal shift or hit the next gear or shift up on the keyboard, it's just so much quicker. If we actually go further on, there's something called a Transbrake. So a Transbrake is basically like a handbrake, but it works more electronically. So most of the time you guys will see, especially if you watch Street Outlaws or these NPK races and stuff, where people get to the line and they build up boost and the flames are shooting, and all they do is they just let go of a button. That is Transbrake. So for myself, Transbrake is the A button, is here by the buttons on the side, is the bottom button. It's just easier for me to hold it in and pop it off. It's just much easier than trying to reach for somewhere. But that's why I said, when you do play this game, you're going to hold in your W for acceleration. You're going to need your second hand to rest on the Transbrake. So that is Transbrake for you. You gotta have it. And then a lot of the times you can actually damage your engine. And other times when you do start, you gotta start up your car actually. Believe it or not, you gotta start up your car. So then you can press any button on your keyboard, but for me it is the top button on the steering wheel. just easier for me to just press it over there. Yeah, so you gotta have definitely you gotta have your engine stop and start button, because it will happen that if you use clutch, you will stall your engine. You gotta start your engine up again. I did notice sometimes if you press the acceleration button, it also started up. But practice makes perfect. Try a few things out, find out what works for you. Then after that, let's just scroll up a bit. We have got shift up and shift down. This will basically be R and F on a keyboard. Once again, you can change it to whatever you want. For me, my shift up and shift down is basically the paddle shifts at the back. They are very important. If I do quickly go down, you guys can see your first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear is directed to the numbers on the keyboard. To be honest, if you are going to use that, that will basically be like for your gear lever, to put it in first, second, third, fourth. But it feels to me like it's very slow. Why do I say that? Because if you put your car in first gear, let's be realistic. This is everything here on this is electronical, right? If you put your car in third gear, as an example, you want to go to fourth gear. So as you're pulling it back, it goes to neutral and then fourth gear. So that means because there's computers and all that stuff, your shifts might be a little bit slower because it's basically going out of third gear into neutral and then fourth gear. So instead of just shifting up and going from third to fourth, you're going to third, neutral, fourth. So you can be a little bit faster if you only use the shift up and shift down. But if you really want the experience of banging the gears, going crazy, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and going all over the show, by all means, those buttons will be for you. So here is a shift up, here is a shift down, and then we obviously got our reverse gear. So what I just do is from my paddle shifts, I'll just go third, second, first, neutral, and then reverse. So that is what I use. Obviously, you'll find your own thing you're going to use. And then also, yeah, remember you got to have your reverse. If you do your burnout, you go back over the line. You actually got to back up a little bit to get to in front of the line. And then obviously you will just play on from there until the second bulb lights. Alright, so let's quickly go further. We have got the horn. I'm not really using it. We got the purge nitros. Obviously, if you're going to use nitrous cars, which I am not, you're going to have your purge button. I haven't played with a nitrous car yet. I might actually try it out in the future, but till then, I'm going to leave it. And then we have something called the bump box. Alright, so this is going to confuse a lot of people. I will make a video on how to use the bump box. For now, it's just to explain to you what the bump box is. So when you're doing these drag racing games, you get lights, right? As you approach, okay, so basically, yeah, it's one light with a lot of bulbs going down. I'll drop an image for you guys here on the screen. So on the floor, there's actually two lines. The one line lights up the one bulb, or in this case, the top part of the bulb. And as soon as you come in front of the second line, the entire bulb lights up. So the bottom half of the bulb lights up. In a lot of other games in real life, there's actually a second bulb that will be loaded up. So the first bulb is to say, I'm ready to go. The second bulb, when you light it up, is like, we are gonna go now. So that's where you basically, you build up boost in your first line, in the first bulb, if I can say it like that. And then what you're gonna do is, while you're on the Transbrake, while you're accelerating, you're gonna hit your bump box button, and that is where you'll see with the drag racing, these cars, they are bouncing a little bit forward, like they are creeping, like, they are just having this little bounce until the second bulb, or in this case, the bottom bulb lights up, and then you know you're ready to go. The tree will go down, orange, green, and you're gonna let go of your Transbrake button, and you're gonna shoot off. That sounds easy, but trust me, it's very difficult. You'll probably want to see the next video where I'm gonna explain how to probably set up the bump. Otherwise, you're gonna have a nightmare. Alright, so after that, you're gonna have your parachutes. You will realize with this game, once you get a lot of speed and you're trying to brake, your car will just lose control, swing out, hit the wall, do some donuts and all of that stuff. So you want to get used to, when you do pass the line, to actually pop your parachutes and then brake. Also, one thing I want to tell you guys is, not all the cars has parachutes. So what you want to do is, you want to brake, but remember, you don't have to brake now. Brake slowly. Take your time to brake. You'll eventually come to a brake point, and then obviously from there on, you will just continue your route, go back to your pits, do your maintenance or whatsoever. Okay, so here we've got the tuning menu. Oh yeah, let me just quickly go back. The bump box for me, remember my Transbrake is the A button. My bump box is this small button right over here. I don't know if you guys will actually see it. So while I hold Transbrake, I don't have to use my same hand to press to bump. I can just like bump with my other hand until the second bulb lights. And then for my parachute, I know this is going to sound stupid. It works for me. Nothing is stupid, right? Everyone is doing stuff for their own reason. On my car, on my pedals below, we've got 3 pedals. Clutch, brake, and acceleration. Now, the brakes on the G923 is horrible. When I ever want to step on brakes, I'm moving my entire steering column at the bottom. It's just all wiggly and stuff. You really got to press on the brakes. So what I'm doing is my clutch is actually my brakes. My acceleration is my acceleration because I'm not using clutch. So I can make my brake my clutch, and then my brake is my parachute. So basically what will happen is I'll accelerate when I go through. I will let go of the throttle. I'll press brake for the parachute, and then I'll press clutch slowly to just creep down to come to a stop. A lot of complications. That is what works for me. You will find out what works for you. You might have a different steering wheel where your brake is fine. You'll use your brake. Then you can use your parachute on your steering wheel or your clutch. Everything is up to you. Alright, so there we go. That is basically how to set up your controls to actually have a good time driving, okay? So what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to do the bump box. If you have got no idea how to properly set it up or properly do it, you keep on stalling your car, you keep on bumping over the line, you're not having a clean bump, your car is just doing weird stuff when you're trying to bump, the next video is for you. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do really hope, sorry, whoa, my voice. I do really hope that this helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to drop a big like. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this kind of content where I'm going to participate in events and do more tutorials to help you out. Make sure to subscribe, please. It will definitely help me out. And I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, peace out, everyone.